Hello, everybody. How are you doing today? My name is Tony Rizzano, and this is the best podcast in 1, 2, 3 galaxies. But, ladies and gentlemen, you and I, we just call this thing Online Marketing Moves, and we are coming to you live today. Today is July. What's today? July the 20th, 2021. At the time of this recording, ladies and gentlemen. How are you doing today? Come on in. Gather around. Let's have a seat. Let's do a little chatting. Okay. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is something important. I will tell you this. You probably already know this, but sometimes we all need to know this. Okay. When your body says take a break, listen to your body and take a break. Okay. Today I slept from, I woke up, got off, came, I did some reading, went to bed about 9 o'clock. And I didn't wake up till about 5 o'clock, okay? 5:30. Normally, I sleep like 4 hours a day, 4 or 5 hours a day, But today, I guess my body said, you know what, sir? We are going to take a break, all right? So every now and then, when the body says take a break, take a break. I must say it was some pretty good sleep, though. I can't complain. I slept so good, I want to go do it some more, It's nice. It's very nice. But, ladies and gentlemen, today we are going to talk about something that's very important. All these topics are important that we talk about. All these topics are everything that we talk about on this podcast, ladies and gentlemen, is to help you get to where you want to be. If it's not about strategy, tactics, the mindset, the ability, the creativity you need to, market yourself to really get the thing that you want to get off the ground, then we will not discuss it. But everything that we talk about has a purpose. You know what I mean? It has a meaning behind it. So listen to these episodes, go out, take plenty of action, productive action, and let the world know, hey, I'm here, and we are here to rock and roll. You know what I mean? But today we're going to talk about something that I found pretty funny, and I found fascinating over the last year. And that's that is the quarterback. The quarterback we all know is Tom Brady. We might not like him, but we know him. You got to respect him. 7-time Super Bowl champ, Tom Brady. He's I saw today. Well, I saw an episode of him on this show called The Shop, I believe. I've only watched 2 episodes, so I've only ever watched 2 episodes, but it's pretty good, decent show. They bring athletes and celebrities together, I think, and it's hosted by LeBron James and his business partner Maverick Carter. But it's an interesting show, and I saw Tom Brady on there, and and before when Tom Brady was, and it's funny, I'm going to correlate this for you. When Tom Brady was with the Patriots, he sort of like he was a company man. He worked for a company. He was buttoned up. He was kind of stiff. He would give you the forgettable quotes. Yeah, we just go take this one game at a time. We just doing this, one thing at a time. And Tom Brady, he did that for a long time. And then finally, I could say Tom Brady, he became more of a entrepreneur. Let's put this in terms of business. Tom Brady was a company man, working for the Patriots. The bottom line was winning. The bottom line was, being kind of stiff, being kind of stale, and he worked there for a long time. He was more like a company guy. Then he became a free agent, and then, of course, he's Tom Brady, 6-time Super Bowl champion. So you're not going to treat him, of course, he's not going to get treated like as they say in wrestling terms, like a jabroni. He's not going to be a company man anymore. He's more of an entrepreneur at this point. And he's like, hey, I'm going to do things my way. I'm going to talk to who I want to talk to. I'm going to say what I want to say, and I'm going to do the things that I want to do, and that's more of like the entrepreneur, thing. And now Tom Brady, he's actually, I find him a lot more likable in the entrepreneur phase of his life, because now he's like, hey, I'm me. This is who I am. This is what you're gonna get, he still, he still works hard, trains hard, but he's showing more of his personality. He's showing more of who he actually is, rather than trying to be the company guy, the boring, the stale, we just take this one game at a time, and it's very refreshing to see, and that is what happens when you finally find your voice, when you finally find out who you can be, who you are, and that's what I want for you, when we all get into a bad habit, or not a bad habit, but it's nothing that is nothing wrong with this. It's nothing that you do. You're not doing this on purpose. But whenever we first start, trying to do something online, whenever you want to try to do a blog or videos or podcasting, doesn't matter. A lot of times we fall into this habit, and it's not a habit, but it's just what it's just, you think this is what I need to do. We try to find somebody to emulate, and we try to find somebody to be, and you sort of find yourself doing their shtick, their routine, their material, and you're kind of like, if you watch the videos about it, and the guy, he talks fast and he moves his hands around, that might be your thing when you first start. And you might not even do that in your real life, but you just find yourself doing that because you saw somebody else do that, and it works for them. But then you come to a point, you finally come to a point where you're like, that's not what I do, and you find yourself getting more and more comfortable within yourself. And so you find yourself doing the things that you like to do, that works for you, and that's a beautiful thing. That is the greatest thing that you can do, is be yourself on camera, be yourself in the podcast, be yourself in the blog, write like how you talk. That's what they say about emails and, and blog posts. Yeah, you want to use some, you don't want to misspell everything, but when you're doing email, especially emails, when you do emails, they say you should write like you talk, because I found myself in the beginning when I was doing emails, very, very bland emails. I used to write very bland kind of emails, because I was always trying to spell check and do this and do that, And for one, it's like, when you're doing an email, you're talking to somebody. You have to think about it like, hey, I'm talking to a friend, and you are talking to a friend, because friends help other friends out, correct? So yes. So you're trying to you're helping out this group. You're helping out this person. If you have a product, you have an idea that you want to tell them about, you want to sell them something, that will help them along their journey, then you are a friend. And so when you're doing email, it's just like you're talking to a friend. So do that. Don't try to be all, and don't try to use like super big words. Like I got a dictionary. One annoying thing is when people try to be know-it-alls. Don't be that. We don't have time for all that. I was gonna pull out my dictionary and tell you some big words don't use, but you want to use words that people use on a daily basis. You want to try to keep it at a 6th grade, 7th grade level when you're reading. When you're sending emails, when you're writing. You don't want to try to make it overly complicated. You don't have a PhD and a doctorate. So relax. You know what I mean? But just be more yourself. You'll find your voice. It's I'm not saying it's going to automatically happen in day one, but it will happen, and you will find your voice, and you will find yourself getting more relaxed, more comfortable, and you'll be excited about it. And you won't recognize it for a while, but you eventually you'll know. You'll be like, all right, here we are. This is who I am. This is what I do. This is my thing. This is my thing now. You're hearing from me. The first month, the first week or so, I remember when I first tried to do videos. I would, for some reason, I would talk fast, and sometimes I talk fast. It just depends. But most of the time, this is the how I'm talking to you now. It's how I, pace myself. It's not like I'm not like Some days I come in here. Some days I always have energy. Don't get me wrong. Like, it doesn't matter how I sound. I have a lot of energy. I get very excited about doing this, but Some days I come in, it's kind of like rapid fire, but a lot of times it's sort of more laid back, more nonchalant, which it doesn't help when it comes to job interviews. But we ain't worried about that anymore, are we? Of course not. But and you will find your voice. Maybe you talk fast, maybe you don't, maybe you move your hands, maybe you don't, but you will definitely find your voice. You will definitely will get off the whoever you're trying to emulate train quickly, once you find your own footing, and you know you'll see it's a beautiful thing. Okay. And so be like Tom Brady, be you could be a comedy man as long as you want, then eventually find your footing, and then go, hey, this is what you're gonna get from now on. It's it's refreshing to see, that this guy who's a 6-time Super Bowl champ can, you know, I mean, he's become a lot more likable. Like I wasn't upset that he won, that Tampa Bay won the Super Bowl. I'm like, Tom Brady, he's kind of likable these days. I don't mind the guy, but whatever. But yeah, there's always gonna be, you're always gonna change. You're always gonna, the more comfortable you get, the better you get with things. It's sort of like selling. At first you might be uncomfortable with selling, but eventually eventually it will come to the point where you start talking, and you just don't realize, but you're selling. But I mean, let's be honest with each other. Let's be honest with each other. There's a stigmatization about selling products to people, and you shouldn't feel bad. You shouldn't feel bad about selling things to people. You shouldn't feel bad about charging people a certain price. You should not feel guilty about, any of this. You shouldn't feel bad about making money online. Don't think I'm a bad person because I'm trying to sell somebody a product, or don't feel bad because you charge somebody $2,000 for a product. You charge what you're going to charge, and people are going to buy. They're either going to buy or they're not going to buy, and that's that. And everything you do, you are here to drive people somewhere. The one lousy piece of advice that I ever got when I first got online, it was like, every email doesn't have to have a link in it. And I'm like, that. And even at the time, I know enough. I've tried to run a business before, and I completely bombed at it. But it wasn't for the selling part. It was just the time it wasn't there, and I don't think I was fully ready. I don't think I embraced it like I should have. But that's neither here nor there. But the one thing that I found odd is when people used to say, you shouldn't try to sell people in every email and every post, and it's like, why not? What are we doing? Why are we here? We are here to you are here to help people, but you're also here to make money. Because the more money you make, the more you can apply to your business, the more you can do ad revenue, the more ads you can do, the more you know video equipment you can get, the more studio equipment you can get, the more you want to make money. You want to make money as quickly as possible, so that way you can take that money and you can start applying it towards your business. So you can really get full, because you're not running a Mickey Mouse outfit. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, you're here to run a legit business. We're not here to BS around. We're not here to play around. If you listen to this podcast, this is not the I'm here for the F of it. I'm playing entrepreneur. Like, no, we are the real deal. We're not here to um excuse my French, but we're not here to shit around, bullshit around. We're not here to horse around. Like, we're running a real business. You know what I mean? And in order for you to run a real business, you need to start making real revenue. You need to start making real income, and take that income and put it back in your business. Not take the $500 you make and spend it on a coat. Take the $500, reinvest it in your business so you can grow your business. I don't know how much you want to grow it, but you definitely want to get to a point where, and this is if you never read Rich Dad Poor Dad, I don't care what you think about Robert Kiyosaki and his, maybe whatever, his affiliation with Trump and all that kind of stuff, but Rich Dad Poor Dad, one thing he talked about is getting assets and making enough money from the assets so that way you don't have to sort of don't have to work for a company or work for people anymore, and so you want to try to get to that point, to start making, and you don't have to, it doesn't have to, you don't have to make $10 million, you don't have to make $20 million, we're not here for that. But I think for me, I think it's cool if you can make the money that you want to make. It doesn't have to, like I said, hell, if you don't want to make a hundred, if you don't want to make $200,000 a year, great. If you think, hey, I can 75,000 good for me, then make that. But I don't want you to have to feel like I'm stuck at this job while I'm trying to do, no, you make some money from this, business, and you put it back into the business. That's what you should do at first. I ain't a financial advisor. I don't know a hell of a lot, but I know that much. The money you make from this, you should put it back into your business, and that way you try to grow it. You try to grow it out a little bit. So that way, because honestly, the faster you can get from the job and the faster that you can start focusing on this stuff, you definitely make the kind of money that you want to make. You know what I mean? And I know we started off with Tom Brady, but now we're in the, because we're in the heart of the entrepreneurship, and so you reapply the money, and reapply the money and get it going, make turn this into a system, and the faster you can turn this into a system, the better off you will be. That is probably because you don't want to swap. The one thing you don't want to do, and trust me, you don't want to swap one job for another. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want to get into that situation. It might happen, but eventually get a system going so that way you wake up. And I'm not saying passive income. People beat that to death. Passive income, passive income. It's there are, not to get on a tangent or nothing, but we have a little time. Not to get on a tangent or nothing, but there are certain buzzwords that you want to watch out for that people are now just beaten ad nauseum, and it's kind of ridiculous. It's kind of annoying. Like passive income. That's one of them. Listen, you want to create a system. I'm not saying that's a beautiful thing, but you still have to feed the system. You don't want to, nobody's gonna go. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you, oh, create this thing, and then for 2 months go to sleep and you wake up and see all the money you're gonna get. No, put, I'm not saying you have to stare at it all the time, but put some work into it so you can keep it going. The one, because you don't want to listen. It's like I was telling my wife. I said, my daughter, God willing, have a long, I'm on this earth and she's on this earth, she can stay with me as long as possible. I don't care how long she stays with us, just because I mean my parents let me stay. I stayed with my parents until I went to the Navy, I got out the Navy, and I lived with them for like another year or two. And I think I moved out of the house at 24. But I never came back. And so I was telling my wife, I said, my daughter, she can stay with us as long as possible. But once she leaves, that's it. And I want the same for you, Once you leave the job, I don't want you to have to go back. Like I don't want you to, because I was talking to my wife, and she's thinking about selling her business, because she wants to be around the baby for the first year. And plus she's a franchisee. She wants to go from that to, doing something else. And so I was like, are you gonna get a job? And she was like, I think she said that would be probably the hardest thing to do. And I'm like, it would be kind of hard to go from doing your own thing to having somebody tell you when you could take a vacation or when you not take a vacation. So the one thing I don't want for you is I don't want you to have to go back. If you do have to go back, then that's different. But If we can avoid that, then let's try to avoid it. So let's get a let's get you let's get you into a good system, that you are making money on a daily basis, and then so that way, if you are watching TV or you are with your child or something, you're making the money, but you always should go back and check, every day or every other day. Don't get into one of these. Don't be one of these people who are like, oh, passive income. Nothing's ever just that passive. You know what I mean? Like that's a buzzword that we should cut out. Generational wealth. That's a buzzword that I'm sick of hearing about, and all this other stuff. Just do the best you can, make the money you can, and try to, you know, create a system, create something for yourself that you can be doing on your own time, and that you'll be happy with, you'll be content with, that's the most important thing, as long as you're happy, as long as you're content, who cares about everything else? All right. Passive income, generational wealth, and 9 to 5. I'm sick of hearing about 9 to 5. It's like, who the hell is working 9 to 5? We all have jobs. Some of us work 11 to 7. Some people work 3 to 11. Some people work whenever. It doesn't matter. Some people work 12 hours a day. Some people work 4 hours a day. Well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what time. 9 to 5, 9 to 5, 9 to 5. It's some of these phrases are just kind of like dead. You know what I mean? And people will keep trying to bring it up. You don't want to work for somebody else. And damn, there's nothing wrong with working for somebody else. It's cool. But after a while, it's like, all right, I've done this. I'm 40. I'm 42 years old. I've done this. I work for somebody. 25 years of my life, 26 years of my life. Now I've created something that I like doing, and it's on my own. It's my own creations. It's my own creativity. I enjoy it. I plan on doing this on a full-time basis. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh man, I hate it. Every job I had sucked, and working for people sucked. It's okay. It's all right. It's fine. But after a while, you're like, all right, I want to do something else. That's it. Don't make it out to be a big deal. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, find your voice. You'll find your voice. You'll be okay. Everything else will be all right. Save up, invest, reinvest in your business. Reinvest in your business before you start. I suggest you reinvest in your business before you reinvest in anything else. So that way you want to grow your business, make your business sustainable. So that way, let's say, hey, you want to take a day off and you have a bunch of content, you have courses that you can put out there and sell. Some guys looking at 3 o'clock in the morning, you're asleep or whatever, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, you're out with your, doing whatever, watching the movies, and somebody buys your $500 course. Hey, boom, there you go. That's very exciting. You know what I mean? Like, I even get excited when I look at, my YouTube videos, and I'm like, oh, somebody's still looking at the YouTube videos, or somebody follows me on Medium out of the blue. That's exciting, because that is stuff you are creating. That is stuff you have created that people have discovered, people have found, and now, it's like, hey, thank you. And, it's like when people come find the podcast, they discover the podcast, and then you see Anchor pays you for the ads, and you're like, oh, look, some more people have listened to the podcast. That's great. It's beautiful. So I want the same for you. All right. But ladies and gentlemen, find your voice. You'll find your voice. You'll be okay. Everything will be all right. Sometimes it's gonna take others longer than it is for other people, but it doesn't matter. As long as you find it, eventually you'll find it. Don't be a copycat. You can be inspired by people, but don't just blatantly copy somebody. That's kind of disgusting, because we are all unique. I mean, God, we are all unique. We're all unique creatures. It's like I tell people, me and my brother, we lived together for 18 years of our lives. And we are 2 different cats. Okay, so there you go. And we lived in close quarters. It's not like we had the most spaced out room. No, bunk beds, and then I remember we was on rotation in one bed. So what I mean, come on, it's and we're 2 different completely people, so it's okay. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. That's all we got today for the podcast. I got to go eat my Jamaican beef patty, but I enjoyed chit-chatting with you. Ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't already, email the show, Tony@onlinemarketingmoves.com, and go to the Facebook page. If you haven't already, like, follow Online Marketing Moves. Go to the YouTube channel. I did a video yesterday. Got to upload it. Of course, I slept all day today, so I wasn't able to upload it, but We'll upload it today or Thursday, and we'll start making the videos on a regular basis. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to continue this journey with me. We are going for a ride. I want you to come. I want you to plant your flag. I want you to make as much money as possible. I want you to have the financial freedom, the time freedom that you are looking for. We all can sit around and enjoy our pizzas together, watch TV together, virtually, of course. I don't want you to come to my house and hang out with me. I'm only kidding. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you. I love you guys, and I will talk to you. I will talk to you tomorrow. And as always, everybody, peace.